What's going on, guys and gals? Jeff Kiesel, Keysel Guitars, here for my live Q&A. We are a day early. We normally do all of these live Q&As on Wednesday, so you're not tripping. This is Tuesday. We are a day early. Be hitting the road tomorrow morning to go to a race in Texas. So I wanted to make sure that I got my live Q&A in with you guys, because I won't be able to do it tomorrow because I'll be in the motorhome driving cross country. Anybody see anything different this week? Pretty excited about these. Little pink cup fever. A lot of you guys and gals have been asking for these pink cups, and they're available on the Keysel merch site. So if you click the merch site, you can buy a Keysel pink cup, and really cool little design with the little guitars on there and our logo. So yeah, it's pretty cool. If you're new to these live Q&As, what we normally do is we'll show off customer guitar, maybe a cool build, an artist build. I typically will have what I call deal of the hour, which I have right next to me, this Holdsworth here. And then typically I have a top of the hour. So what these are, the deal of the hour and the top of the hour, special pricing on this guitar and this top for this 1 hour live session. If you don't take advantage of it while we're live, the guitar will get put in stock at the normal price. So you could still buy it, you're just gonna pay a couple $100 more for it. So it's my way of saying thank you to you guys that are watching and supporting, you know, and offering you a better deal, whether it's your first Keysel or, you know, your 10th, 20th, or in some people's cases, almost 80th. And yeah, we have some customers that buy a lot of guitars. So on that note, let's kick off top of the hour. These things seem to fly. So this is a 5A Poplar Burl top. Has this butterfly kind of pattern to it. It's really cool. What makes it 5A is the intense burling on there, as well as some of the compression quilting and flame that this has. This is going to fit on any of our guitars or basses that are non-carved top, meaning they're not the thicker tops. So that would eliminate the Crescent, the CS6, the CT6, the SH series guitars, the FG1. With the exception of those guitars, this is going to fit on any of our other guitars and basses. So if you like this top, this would normally run you $650, and you wouldn't be able to claim this exact top. You would just get whatever I pick out. So you can get this exact top for $400. That's our normal Poplar Burl price. So if you're sitting over there going, damn, I've always wanted to get a Poplar Burl Keysel, well, you have the opportunity to grab this exact top for the normal standard 4A Poplar Burl price, even though it's a 5A top. So to grab it, you would just call my guys, 858 Guitars, and say, hey, I want the top 4. So top of the hour, really. I don't know why I said top of the week. I guess that was just habit from the past of continuing to call something what it is not any longer. So that's the top. Here's the guitar. This is the deal of the hour. Let me pull these specs off of it. You guys are probably familiar with Rick Beato. Rick did just do a review on a Holdsworth on his channel probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago now. We decided to make more than one guitar. The idea was when Rick launched that video, we'd have something for one of you fans that saw the video and was like, that is such a cool guitar. I want to get the same thing. And I don't want to wait. Well, here you go. Here's your chance. This is identical specs, identical build to the one that Rick showed off on his channel. It's not the identical guitar. Rick still has that guitar. And let me read off the specs to you. So it's a Holdsworth with a trem. It has the metallic Lamborghini orange finish, which is absolutely amazing. This is a little dusty, but it is amazing. It's got this yellow hue pearlescence to this orange. I love this finish. Black logo, jumbo gold EVO frets. It has the center dot mother of pearl inlays, chambered body with a maple top. So it's going to be an alder body, maple top, chambered out. So nice and light. Get that resonance too and that mid-range boost. It has a double thin neck. And what that means is it's not going to have the standard Allen Holdsworth profile, which Allen preferred very, very thick necks. Not a lot of players are going to want a double thick neck for the faster style of shred music. Now there are always exceptions. Some of our own artists will even like the standard necks or the thicker necks. So when I say double thin, it's going to be what our standard thin neck would be, because these necks are thicker to begin with than our standard neck. So by getting a double thin would make it our standard thin. Kind of confusing, but hopefully you followed along with that. And then it's tongue oiled on the back. So when I spec'd this all out, it came to about $2,200. We're going to let it go for $1,900 in the case right to your door, and there's no weight on it. So you have the standard Holdsworth pickups, which are amazing because they are not wax potted, which means they're going to give you these very jazzy, fusiony type of sounds. You'll have to watch for a little bit of feedback. You don't want to be too close to your amp, but definitely a unique sound. If you guys have followed along with Allen Holdsworth at all, you know what kind of tones he was getting. And if you've watched that review on Rick's channel, you're welcome to watch that as well. You can grab this guitar with identical specs to his build. So to grab it, again, you just call my guys 858 Guitars and say, hey, I want the deal of the hour. One of my guys will storm in here very frantically trying to be the first one to sell it. And I'll hold it up. Thank you. Call your name off. So those are my top of the hour. Once again, $400, normally a $500 top, 5A Poplar Burl. And the deal of the hour is the guitar. Pink cup, $15. And that's all the time we have this week. No, I'm just kidding. That would be awesome, right? Like, we're just like, we're out. No, that would not be awesome. We definitely want to spend time with you guys. This is a Leia. Something that's cool. So kind of looking at the Holdsworth for comparison. And then the Leia. The Leia is actually a little smaller. So this is our smallest headless guitar. This is named after my dog, Leia, a boxer that I had for a little over 10 years. Awesome dog, great personality, and we miss her. We have Zelda that is definitely filling in some of that void Leia left behind. Not ever to be replacing Leia, but awesome dog. So this is the Leia model. What makes this different and unique from our other model like the Zeus or the Holdsworth? The Holdsworth has a set neck, which means the neck and body are two separate pieces and the neck is glued in, so it's not something you can change out or swap out. And then the Zeus has a bolt-on neck, meaning the neck is bolted to the body, still two pieces. This is a neck through, so the neck runs all the way through the body and the sides are glued on. So what a neck through is going to do for you, it's going to give you more sustain. It's going to give you a little better access to your higher frets. Let's say 21, 22, 23, 24. It's just going to help that access, ease of getting up there. And it's going to typically be a little brighter sounding, which is a great tool in the studio. This one has a beautiful black Limbo body, and master grade quilt top. I believe this is on the in-stock section. So if you guys have seen it or not seen it, I think this one is available. I'm pretty sure it is. So that's just a rad guitar. And we got a customer build over here. What do we got here? We got Matthew Taylor, and this was estimated completion date of April the 12th. So we're a little bit behind on this one. Was it today the 28th? 27th, okay. So not super bad. And we got the Type V with the trim, a yellow, the natural binding, and then the yellow over the, looks like mahogany wings and mahogany neck. Gorgeous guitar though, nice and lightweight. With the design, they're going to sit well in your lap. Maybe a little low depending on your playing style, but it still sits, really nice. Of course, you can still strap that on. You got the strap button back here, not to get in the way of your access. But a really rad guitar. Look at those abalone inlays, just absolutely gorgeous. And it's real abalone. We buy what's called heart. And that is the heart, the very center of the abalone. A lot of companies will buy the outside areas and they're just less expensive and they're not as nice looking. So we buy the actual heart area. So you see how gorgeous those inlays are. So really cool build. And let's start doing some questions. Let's see if we can get through more questions today.
Roger Torres. Hey, Jeff, I'll be at the races this weekend. Would you mind signing my JB 200C blues guitar?
That's awesome. Absolutely, brother. Yeah, bring it on down. And we'll be in Beeville, Texas, racing this weekend. So excited about getting out there racing. We've raced 3 weekends in a row. Vegas, Northern California, Los Angeles, Fontana, California Speedway, and then Beeville this weekend coming up. And then we have a couple weeks off and we go back to Nebraska. So excited about racing.
How much is the price of that layout?
I don't know what the price of the lay is. I think it's on the website, I'm pretty sure. But if it's not, you can always call my guys and say, hey, I'm interested in that Leia that's on the live. It's not the deal of the hour, so they don't get confused. And they can give you pricing if it's not on the website.
Is it possible to get a neck through Aries with a painted top with the clear natural on the bevel and body?
Yes, you can get a painted top and natural bevel binding area, yes.
Amy Heestrup is asking, hey, Jeff, what made you decide on the Star Wars themed model names?
I am a Star Wars nerd. It's really it. And I thought there was a lot of really cool names that we could incorporate. So that was it. Started off with the Vader. I kind of kicked it off, and people were like, oh my gosh, you're using the Vader name. Disney's going to sue you. Actually, I own the Vader name for musical instruments, so Disney can't do a damn thing about it. So, which I love Disney. Don't get me wrong. I love that, love going to Disneyland even, just when there's not a lot of people. Can't do big crowds.
What exactly is the Hard as Nails finish made of?
It's a special resin that we use.
Would you ever make a Vader model with a headstock?
No plans to do that. It kind of defeats the purpose of the model.
Marcin is asking, can the truss rod be adjusted to the point it's not feasible to tighten it even more?
I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean, you can continue to crank on the truss rod where you would not want to adjust it more. So you got to kind of use a little bit of caution there. You don't want to just go cranking on the thing. Ideally, you want to just get it right, just the right amount of movement on the truss rod. You don't want to make big movements. If you start to make big movements, it can even take a couple hours to fully move all the way because there is some resistance against those carbon fiber rods. So small changes at a time and just get it dialed in, and it shouldn't be moving around, especially with our necks. Anything after, 2015.
Can you explain the controls on the Thanos base? They seem slightly different than the other headless bases.
That's a great question. So the Thanos base uses the same electronics that our JB base and our PB base use. So you're going to have a master volume, and the next control down is going to be a tone, which is different than our standard bases. So that tone control, it works in both active mode, and if you pull up on it, that's a passive tone control. So it works in both modes. And when you pull up, you're bypassing your active electronics, which are your next controls. So you have the bass and treble, and then the mid-range control.
Why did Carvin become Keysel?
That's a good question. So Carvin became Keysel. So it actually was Keysel, and then it became Carvin. So let's talk about that first. So my grandfather in 1946 started Keysel, same logo that we use today. And in about 1950, he decided he wanted to sell direct because back then you just signed dealers up and dealers sold your products. So Grandpa didn't have minimums that the dealers had to buy to maintain the exclusive rights to selling the Keysel brand. So that was a little bit of a mistake he had made, back in the 40s. And thought, you know what, I can do a better job without these guys. I want to sell direct. I want to give the people a better price. I don't want them to have to buy from a dealer. So he goes back to the dealers and says, hey, I'm going to sell direct. I said, no, you're not. He says, yeah, I am. So he folded the Keysel name because he couldn't get out of those contracts and needed a new name. So he's like, what am I going to name this company? Because back then you just named anything after your last name, really, So he made up the name Carvin. So Carvin comes from his two firstborn kids, which is Carson, C-A-R, Gavin, V-I-N. So made up name. You fast forward to 1970, my dad took the guitar division over from my uncle because he was going to stop making guitars because he didn't play guitar, didn't have a passion for guitar. So my dad is the reason for guitars. He's 20 years old, takes over the company, and really, turned our custom shop into, kind of what it is today. I mean, yeah, we've advanced it a lot from what he thought of, but he had the forward thinking to do a custom shop. So now you fast forward to 2015, February 1, me and my dad announced we're splitting off from Carvin. So me and my dad, Mark, owned half of Carvin. I owned 25, my dad owned 25%. We were equal partners. My uncle and his two other kids owned the other half. We basically got a divorce. So they became not Carvin, they became Carvin Audio, and we became Keysel Guitars. So Carvin is no longer, it's Carvin Audio and Keysel Guitars. So Keysel Guitars owns the Carvin brand name for musical instruments, meaning they could never make musical instruments under the name Carvin, and we could never make amps or audio under the name Carvin. They own it. I can make amps and audio under Keysel if I wanted to, but they can never use the Keysel name. That's something I bought while we were still together. I paid for it with my own money because nobody gave a damn about the Keysel name at the time. I'm just going to call it what it is. Of course, when they see the success we've had, they wanted to use it, but I bought it, I own it, and I'm not going to let them use the Keysel name. So going back to my grandfather's original logo, original name, his original plan, guitars and pickups. That's all my grandfather wanted to do. And, my uncle wanted to do audio and all these other things. And since Carvin has gone out of business. So there is no Carvin Audio. Last I heard, they have no working phone number. And we still get people calling, asking about broken products, get a few a day. So no way of getting hold of them and upset. And we have to explain to them, do you talk to all of your family? No, you probably don't. So I haven't spoke to them in a very, very long time. So really it was Keysel, became Carvin, and we went back to what my grandfather would have wanted, which is the original name, doing just guitars and just pickups, having a great time, me and my dad and our custom shop here, just enjoying you guys and what we do.
Scott Wares, is it possible to get HSH pickup configuration on a Delos?
It is, yeah.
Jacob is asking, hey Jeff, aren't these usually on Wednesdays?
It's Wednesday, Jacob. No, they usually are on Wednesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm going to be hitting the road for a racing trip tomorrow morning first thing. So pretty hard to do the live Q&As from the road. We've done them, but it's going to be me and my wife, and we're trying to do like kind of a more chill trip, just kind of the two of us. We're not even bringing Zelda. Zach is going to watch the crazy Zelda. Let's see, that dog, man, she ate one of my AirPods. It fell out of my pocket at the race, and she saw it on the ground and literally ate it and then shit out one of the earpiece things. It's like, oh, dang. Yeah, you definitely chewed that thing up. So I had to get a new set of AirPods delivered today so that I have them for my trip.
Can you make a headless 4-string bass?
We do make a headless 4-string bass. We make a few of them. You're in luck. Check out the site. Osiris, Zeus, and Vader.
Justin Lubers, can you get a crescent chambered with a C-hole?
What's up, Justin? Absolutely, man. You get a crescent chambered with a C-hole.
Josh is asking, is the shape of the PB being a little different from a traditional P bass for ergonomic or aesthetic reasons, or both?
Both. Absolutely both.
Is the antique ash option available with a painted body?
It would be if you got like white. That'd be the only color you're going to see the antique ash underneath. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to take your money.
Alug is asking, can you do Metal Flake infused body binding?
I can. I've done it, yeah.
Johnny is asking, what strings come standard on a ZM7?
ZM7 is going to be strung, I believe we're still stringing them high with a high string, unless you guys specify. So we're going to string it one up rather than one down. I believe. I don't remember. We don't do a tremendous amount of 7-string basses, but we can do it.
Guitar.
What's that?
ZM7 guitar.
Oh, ZM7 guitar. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I was thinking ZBM7. Those are going to be the Dunlop. Actually, sorry, they're the Elixirs. The bass is the Dunlop Elixirs, and we're going to go with a 72 on the top.
Can you comment on the CL7?
The CL7. It's an awesome guitar for Chris Letchford. Multi-scale, chambered body standard, and it's a set through neck. Buy one. That's my comment.
What inlay color would pop more on roasted flame maple? White acrylic or mother of pearl?
Probably white acrylic, because the mother of pearl can have some dark-ish spots in it. And when I say dark, I mean dark compared to pure white. So yeah, if you really want it to pop, just go with the white.
Terrence is asking, would seafoam green raw tone finish on a black limit top look good?
I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend getting a swamp ash top for that. I think it'll look better on that because you can see more grain pattern.
What are the build times currently?
12 to 16 weeks. That's where we're at. We have over 1,300 builds in the works.
Mark is asking, will there be a 75th anniversary K-Series?
No, the K-Series is what it is. The K-Series is the 70th anniversary model. There's no like K-Series 2.0, if that's what you're asking.
Cameron is asking, what are your most metal sounding pickups?
Probably the thorium bridge pickup is probably the most metal sounding, and then for neck, probably the lithium.
Would you sign my new Type V? I just bought it today from the in-stock.
Absolutely. Just call your salesperson up and have them add that, and I'll sign it, no problem.
JC is asking, can we get a solid color with a glossy back of neck instead of satin?
You can get a solid color, depending on, exactly what you're talking about. If you want the body satin and the back of the neck gloss, that's not something we offer, but if you don't mind having the body being gloss as well, we can do the back of the neck gloss.
Do you think a quilt top with a colored flame maple fingerboard would go well together?
I think so, yeah. We've done that a lot of times. It looks really cool. Bird's eye can also look good too, we have some quilted bird's eye, so you might want to look at that if you're really concerned with like the circular patterns matching with the circular quilt on the top. We can do quilted bird's eye fretboard for you.
Will you ever throw a festival with the Kiesel artists?
We did. The last one we did was the 60th anniversary. We had every intention of doing a 75th. Was actually what we wanted to do, but obviously we couldn't predict COVID, so we'll have to see what ends up happening.
Brandon Michael is wondering if we can see that top again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of hiding behind that guitar. We got the pink cups taking up all the real estate there. So $400 top, normally $650 for this top. It's a 5A poplar burl top. Got that little butterfly pattern going on it. It's pretty dope.
Mike is asking, will Keysel ever make amps?
I don't want to say never, but there's no plans right now. I mean, we're doing the best we can to keep up with the demand on guitars, let alone trying to shift gears and add a lot more responsibilities and things to do and distractions, I'll call it. So, we just want to be able to keep up with you guys for just the guitars right now.
You guys are masters of choosing colors for your guitars. What do you get? How do you get your inspiration for choosing colors?
It's usually just trying. Thank you, by the way, but it's usually just trying to think of things that complement each other or clash in such a way that it looks really good. There's a guitar I even did for myself called Nuclear Melon, and it clashes so hard, but I love the way the guitar looks. I think it looks amazing. And it's just trying to think outside the box Sometimes it could even be a sports card that gives us some inspiration. I don't want to ever draw within the guitar community because I'm trying to do things that are fresh and original, which I know is not always possible, but I don't get any inspiration from within the community. Even if we do something that looks similar to someone else, it's not because we saw what they did and we're like, oh, that's cool, let's do our own version. It just maybe happened to play out that way. On purpose, I don't look at what anybody else does because it doesn't really matter, we're a custom shop. We want to be original and we want, to just build what you guys want, and sometimes we end up doing other companies like a similar finish by request from you guys. But when we create something, it's trying to be as unique as possible.
Roger Torres, do you still do the chili pepper inlays?
I don't know what a chili pepper inlay. I've never seen that, dude. And if you might got the wrong company.
Maybe he's thinking the signature inlays look like chili peppers.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit, maybe.
I mean, they look like sperm. They don't really look like a chili pepper. And no, we don't offer the signature inlays anymore. Tadpole looking things. Definitely don't look like chili peppers. I grow chili peppers and they look like no chili pepper I've ever seen.
Marco is asking, how much are your ebony tops, and would you ever recommend coating it in a trans purple?
I would say no on the trans purple, and it depends on the ebony. I want to say they're $500 to $600 depending on the ebony.
Hi Jeff, I ordered my hyperdrive about 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago. California burst with KRG. Can't wait. My question, how often are you doing the walkthroughs? Love seeing those.
Well, thank you for the purchase. Walkthroughs we haven't done as much. It's hard for us to do these walkthroughs when we're this busy. I did one last week and it's still up there. You can go back and watch it. It's on the Kiesel account. But as I walk through, you can see how many eyeballs get focused on me and what I'm doing. And, that makes it a little hard when we're so busy. It's like, how do I distract everybody? More than when I'm just walking through and not talking. But they hear me talking and they're like, oh, what's the boss doing? And they're kind of looking around, and that's not ever good for productivity. And then you can see how many bodies and necks and everything we have in the works. So with that, it's kind of even hard to walk through efficiently with just the sheer amount of instruments that are being produced right now. But the one thing I will let you guys know, rest assured, we're not going to rush on anything. I had an employee meeting today with my staff and just reminded everybody, like, look, I want your efficiency, but I don't want anybody rushing. I want high quality, always high quality. That's number one. But let's find out ways to be more efficient, so we keep that quality high, but we cut out extra things that we don't need to be doing, or even some of the small talk. So guys, a little less small talk. I love that everybody here wants to share what they did on the weekend and stuff like that. I actually encourage it. I want our group to be tight and do things outside of work. And I think that's good team building constantly. I think we're constantly team building, but trying to just pull back the unnecessary or the talking so much that they're just not getting stuff done. So there's that fine balance. We want to keep a fun, good family work environment here. But I also need to keep productivity up too. So just reminding them about that.
Lee is asking, can you do a candy or denim fade?
Yes and yes.
Can we order a tone control on any of the active bases?
The only way is if you, and I think I misspoke on that before, is you lose your mid-range control. So I think I did say that wrong. You get a volume, pickup blend, tone control, stacked bass and treble. So if you don't mind losing your mid-range control, yes, you can. And the tone control is a cool feature. And the passive feature for me, the reason why I wanted it on our basses so much is not necessarily for tone, even though passive tone is cool. It's so that if the batteries in the electronics ever die, you can finish your set, by just pulling up. Battery has to still be in there making contact, completing the circuit. But you can actually complete your set. So I think that's pretty cool.
Is the beveled armrest on the Vader as comfortable as the Ares? And then is the thinner neck profile thinner on the Ares or a Vader?
So the Ares and the Vader are going to have the same neck profile. So there's that. And then as far as comfort, I can't answer that. I don't know what playing position you have. Think about the Vader. It's one arm bend. So if you play at that exact arm bend, it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be perfect. But if you don't, then the Ares is going to be better for you. Or Osiris in that case, if you're looking for a headless.
Kayla King.
KK!
She says, hey Jeff, are you going to be getting more pink cups on the merch site? They show they are sold out already.
Yeah, that was I fixed that, so they're available now.
They're available now. Try again, KK. I know we got over 100 of them for the thing, so I wouldn't think we would have sold that many already, but you never know. We've had a lot of people asking for pink cups. Keep in mind too, like you might look at the cup and go, $15. We had to tool up. It's a special cup just for us, you know. So you know, at $15, you know, we're barely going to make any money, but that's a sturdy cup. It's actually a nice cup, and Zach designed it. Did a good job with the guitars on there. So there's some cool guitars. There's Type X, an Ultra V, SCB, let's see, and an Osiris on there. So some cool stuff on there.
Is a tongue oil finish similar to gunstock oil?
I don't know what gunstock oil is used. I don't know what gun companies use for oiling their stocks. So I can't answer that, I'm sorry. But it's Minwax tongue oil is what we use, I can tell you that.
Can you do sandblasted finishes?
It's not something we offer, sorry.
Michael Smith, what models will the Midi synth module fit in?
You have to call the guys, there's quite a few.
Any plans for a double gig bag for 2 headless guitars or a guitar and a bass?
No plans for that. I have to get a whole container if I order that, and I don't want to take in 500 double bags because I think it would take me a really long time to sell those, and they're expensive.
Do you think a black Limbo body guitar with a chambered body would work for a good tone?
I think if you get a black Limbo body, I think you should definitely chamber it because I think it helps round out the sound. And yeah, I think black Limbo bodies are pretty cool.
Matt Huffins, will we ever see an Evertune Delos option?
No plans on that. We just launched a Evertune solo last week, and of course we're already getting more people asking for more Evertunes, even though I just gave you an Evertune. Damn you guys. When I give you something brand new, they're like, oh yeah, that's neat, but I want this, this, and this. And if you did this with this and that and this, I'd buy it for $500. You know, that's like the internet, right? You know, I'm not saying you wouldn't actually buy it, but that's just what we get. If you made a 9-string guitar with 3 pickups and you fanned it from 15 inches all the way to 45, I'd buy it if you price it at $500. You know, it's like, what, and what? So yeah, those are kind of a lot of the comments we get. So I'm not saying you wouldn't actually buy it, but when we release something brand new, like pump the brakes on asking for something else right away.
Drew is asking, can you get custom inlays on a Keysel edition build?
We don't do custom inlays at all, no. And the Keysel edition wait list is about 2 years. I just took on 2 more builds, and I don't like to have a lot of those builds going at one time, so I just took on 2 more, and they're gonna be dope. You know, those seem to be averaging about $7,000 for those Keysel editions.
What do you recommend to reduce shine spots on the raw tone finish?
You know, probably something from McGuire's or Mother's, something that's for satin finishes, I would say.
Can you do hard as nails on a fretted guitar?
You cannot. No, it has to be fretless.
David is asking, can antique ash treatment be done on black Limbo?
Antique ash on black Limbo, no. I was thinking raw tone for a second, but yeah, raw tone can, but not the antiquing of the ash. Needs to be done on ash.
Can you put a monster burst on a Zeus with an ash body?
Absolutely.
Pablo's wondering, great guitars. Is it possible to receive an endorsement from you guys?
Absolutely. We honor every single request. No, truth is we get a ton of people and very few make it. You know, if you're really serious and you have a very large following that you have a big influence on, you know, I would say you have 50,000 followers and a lot of them play guitar, then I'd submit your packet. But if not, I would just kind of wait until you get to that point, to be honest. We're pretty full on our roster right now.
Braden is asking, how did you discover David Maxim and what made you want to endorse him? He's one of my favorite players.
David is an amazing player. He's also an amazing person. I met him through Chris Johnson, who is a good friend of mine, but he's also our artist relations guy. I met David at, I think it was the 2015 NAMM show, and we just kind of hit it off. He was such a nice guy and genuine and, of course, very talented. And, you know, kind of started talking about what it would look like if we wanted to work together. And, you know, some conversations take a long time, and here we are working together. So it's pretty awesome. Love having David on board. If you guys don't know who David Maxim is, definitely check him out. Amazingly talented player. You're missing out on a lot of great content and tones from that guy.
What's the difference between a candy finish compared to regular finishes?
Quite a bit. The depth is a lot deeper, and it's more of a two-tone finish. The process is totally different. I do all the candy finishes, so I think they come out better than our standard finishes, is my opinion. Of course, I'm biased because, you know, it's something that I thought up, and I think they look really cool. I like them a lot.
Roger Torres, can you still get a Greg Howe with an HS configuration?
You're probably talking about the GH24. Yeah, we could probably do a GH24 for you.
How many customs are you working on right now?
I have no idea, honestly. You know, if you look at just in my carts, I probably have 30 waiting for me. But in the building here, I probably, between orders that were placed today and orders that I haven't got into my cart yet, I would say out of the 1,300 guitars that are here, at least 300 of them I'm probably gonna be working on. I work on that many guitars. I also pick out tops for anybody that gets an upgraded top. So like today I gave my guys, because I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow, I gave my guys like 25 tops today, like 25 builds. So when you count all the tops and you count the colored fretboards, the custom finishes, the K series and all that, I don't know. I mean, I probably work on, between all of that, like 600 to 800 guitars a year out of the 4,000 we built. So it's a pretty large percentage. So a lot of people will be like, oh, you just pose with the pictures when they're done, don't you? Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I'm not saying when I show off a guitar, it doesn't mean I worked on that guitar, but I do work on a lot of guitars here. And then, you know, of course, I've designed every model except for the JB bass, and then some of the older models from pre-2012. But since 2012, I've done all the designs. So even if I didn't necessarily work on that guitar, I designed it. So I guess it's rightful that I take a picture of it. I would think that would be okay and acceptable.
I had a dream I was playing a Kiesel 7. Never thought of Kiesel before that. Is it a sign?
It's a sign, brother. You need to call up and get your build in. Quoting 12 to 16 weeks. You know, we were quoting 10 to 12, 10 to 14. Before that was 8 to 12. Before that was 6 to 8. So, you know, the lead times are getting longer and longer. So, you know, we're working on trying to get them down, but sales just keep going up and up and up. So we will have a mid-year price increase, letting you guys know about that. So we're going to have a July 1 price increase, just like we had last July. We're going to have another one this July. So if that's any, you know, inspiration to get your build in, we are going to have a mid-year price increase. It's not going to be just on models. It's going to be on some options as well. There's some things that just take us way longer, and we're really starting to analyze what's taking us a long time, and we have to raise some prices.
Jesse Powers, is there an idea in the works to replicate the looks of antique ash as ash becomes unavailable?
No, I'm kind of a wing it kind of person. Like when that problem becomes my problem, then I'll figure it out. But until then, we're doing the best we can to keep swamp ash in stock. And hopefully we can continue to keep it in stock.
Terrence is asking, when you get black and white pickups in an HSS configuration, what color are the single coils?
They should be black, because you should have black at the far pickup should be black. So the extremes, and then it should go white, and then it should go black again.
If you were playing Trivium, what neck bodywood and pickups would you choose to match their sound?
I don't know. I would say for Trivium, I mean, I would almost go with like a beryllium neck and like probably a illusionist bridge, and mahogany body and a maple top. I think would be great for what they do.
Sean is wondering, can I get a MIDI input on the ZM8 acoustic?
No, you can't. No MIDI on any of our headless stuff. We don't have the room for it in the cavity. It's just too small.
Why is Carvin's old regular headstock not available at Keysel?
We chose not to offer it anymore. It wasn't popular. Hardly anybody wanted it. So you're amongst the small community asking for it, I guess I would say. You can still get it on the Greg Howe model, though. So,
is a Buckeye Burl top a master grade top, or do you have to request a master grade version?
You would have to request and pay more for a master grade version. I think for Buckeye Burl, master grade is an additional $600, making it a $1,200 top.
Jonathan is asking, which sounds better on a 7-string, mahogany or black limbo?
Totally depends on your playing style, what pickups. I like mahogany. Black limbo is gonna be a little brighter, so a little more machine gun picking. But I like mahogany a lot. Even Scott Carstairs from Fallujah, don't know if you're familiar with him. That's his favorite sounding guitar. Mahogany body, flame maple top. Out of all the Kiesels he has, that's his best sounding guitar.
Cameron is asking, besides purchasing instruments or merch, what can we do to support you and the organization?
I mean, anybody that, you can share these posts to, recommending it to friends, other players. I mean, that's really awesome. That's the way that, if you guys are looking to support us further, that would be amazing. You can always use all the love and support.
Can you go over the deals of the hour?
Yeah, so I have a $400 5A Poplar Burl top. Code is TW44. Normally a $650 top, $400. And then I have this very badass Holdsworth in metallic Lambo orange. Normally about $2,200, $1,900 shipped right to your door. And my guys have all the specs and details of both of these, so you can always call. If I didn't give you enough info, if you're serious, call my guys. Say, hey, I want to know more about top of the hour or the guitar of the hour, and they'll be able to fill you in and sell it to you if you're interested.
Trevor's asking, what's your favorite Taco Tuesday spot?
Probably TJ Tacos. TJ Tacos is the best, which we probably should have eaten there today. We had In-N-Out, but I should have got some tacos before I head off to Texas. You have some good barbecue out there.
Mike is asking, will the DC 127 ever make a comeback? I had all the specs printed for it, and you guys discontinued it.
I mean, we just discontinued. I don't see why we would discontinue something and then just bring it right back. I have no plans on bringing it back, and really, when I look at it like this, I didn't discontinue it. You guys did. Not enough people were buying them. A DC 600 outsells the 127 like 5-1, and it's nearly the same guitar. So sorry, brother.
Is that a Dance Gavin Dance t-shirt?
Sure is.
Joe Brooks, I'm grilling steaks because it's sunny and 80 in Cleveland. How do you like your steaks cooked?
What's up, Joe Brooks? It depends on the steak. The steak, kind of my go-to would be a ribeye bone-in, about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch thick. I don't like them too thick, and then I like them medium. I used to like medium rare when I drank a lot because I didn't mind chewing so much. I just don't want to chew that much, and obviously I don't want them dry. I want them cooked as much as they need to be cooked to not be dry and not chewy. It's like undercooked is too chewy, overcooked is too chewy, but when you're drunk, you just don't care, So, past 10 years, it's like, oh, wow, I used to eat stuff really bloody or I would burn it, So, anyway.
Cameron is asking, could you combine a candy finish with a monster burst finish?
I mean, we could do something really cool. It wouldn't be a monster burst, but for example, we could do an aqua candy and then put a purple candy burst around it. We could do something like that for you. So give you that same, I guess that'd be opposite of the monster, because monster is purple to aqua. I would say if you did aqua candy to a purple burst, I think that would be better than trying to do the reverse. We wouldn't be able to do the reverse, so we could do that.
Can I supply my own wood, and does it affect price?
So depending on what wood, you can, but we do charge the same amount to use your wood that you provide as we would if we provided it. So for example, let's say you provided, which we wouldn't let you do, let's say you wanted to provide a poplar burl top. I have so much of it, I don't let people provide it. But we would still charge you $400. So you may as well just use our top here. But in some cases, some people have used color stabilized Buckeye or resin filled Buckeye. We still charge you $600, the Buckeye charge, to work with it, even though you're providing your top.
Lou is asking, hello guys, my Keysel has arrived with angled trem springs. What is the advantage of putting them like this?
Well, when you have, the center and then the angle, the claw is very narrow, so you have no choice but to have it angled. You also wouldn't want all of your force at one end of the trem block, so it really helps spread the load, would be the big reason. And thanks for the purchase, man.
Do you offer any of the other Fishman Fluence humbuckers besides the moderns?
So we do a modern with the ceramic and the bridge, and the modern with the Alnico and the neck, and that's the only thing we offer standard. You can provide your own though if you want to use something else, like a set of Tosins or something. Give Tosin some love and some royalties. Maybe I should ask him. We were texting back and forth a little bit ago. Maybe I should just ask him if he wants us to offer his pickups. Who knows? Maybe he will.
What's a good bodywood to balance out a walnut top?
So walnut top's pretty bright, so I'm going to go with the swamp ash because it's going to be a warmer, or a mahogany because it's going to be a warmer. You don't want to go, bright and bright together.
Eric Jordan, I see that Hipshot has a 5-string headless bass bridge with 16.5 millimeter string spacing. Any plans to offer that option? Can I pay the programming fee if not?
No plans to offer it, but the programming fee for something like that, it's a complete redesign because we have to redesign the sculpting of the horns and a whole new neck that doesn't exist. So, I mean, if you were interested in paying about $2,000 for a programming fee, I could consider it, but it wouldn't be like the typical pickup $500 because the neck doesn't even exist. I mean, it's a whole new everything. It's actually a lot of work. So and even for $2,000, we're going to lose money on that. I didn't know they made it. To be honest, I've been asked only a couple of times, so I don't necessarily see doing it.
Adrian is asking, what's the upcharge on a sand drift gloss finish?
I don't know. I would say probably about $300 because it's a custom metallic, if I had to guess.
How much do wings affect tone on a neck through?
I mean, they affect tone. I mean, it's your body, right? So it's everything that's resonating. It is going to affect it.
Mike Washington, hey Jeff. What would be the most versatile headless guitar?
If you're looking at most versatile right out of the box without putting options on it, I would probably say the Lee McKinney because it's got the piezo option on it, standard, without even having to add anything to it. It's chambered, and I feel like chambered guitars give you a more versatile tone, and then the piezo on top of that. But you can add piezo to our other models, you know. So I would pick your favorite model and then add whatever options, or scrap a Lee McKinney, which it was his birthday on Saturday as well as Zach's birthday. So they both have the same birthday. It's two awesome people with the same birthday.
Marco is asking, I saw a Pale Moon Ebony fingerboard coated in a crimson red on your Instagram. How much would that cost?
So that would have been a Saber Red, and I believe that's $250 on top of the Pale Moon charge.
Can I have a kiss from you?
Dang, who the hell's asking that? That better be Sean Keysel.
No.
Oh, dang. Well, I have to say that's a hard no. Mrs. Kiesel's not going to like that one.
Vince is asking, can you do a 2-color sandblasted finish on ash?
Well, we don't do sandblasted finishes, so that would be a no.
Can you do a Greg Howe with HH configuration?
We can. Yeah, call my guys. And I'm getting the spin the wheel. Here we go. All right, no story time.
Story time.
Nope, it's not doing it. Nope. Son of a bitch, how does it do it nearly every time is story time. I'm watching you guys too, like watching your faces, and I see Brandon's eyes light up and I hear Zach laugh, so I'm like, oh, I know it's story time. All right, what do we want for a topic here?
The origin of the original pink cup.
Okay, that's actually very fitting. So, back in the day, I used to make a lot of cocktails. So I was sober for 10 years. And I say was sober, I had a glass of champagne for Zach's 21st birthday. So, technically, I had a glass of champagne.
But a glass won't get you drunk.
It doesn't matter, it's the concept. So, I had not had a single drink for over 10 years, and I told Zach, for your 21st birthday, I'll have a beer with you, man. He didn't want to have a beer with me, he didn't want to have anything with me, and there was a bunch of us around. We all had champagne glasses, and so I had a glass of champagne, this tiny little glass. So technically I, broke my thing that I made myself. I had said that I would go until Zach's 21st birthday and have a beer with him. Unfortunately, he didn't want to have a beer with me. I was really looking forward to it. 10 years of wanting to have a beer with my son, but he didn't want to have a beer with me. So he ruined it. So anyhow, back in the day, I had green cups, and I used to pour a lot of cocktails in them, a lot of vodka drinks, and they just got screwed up over time. And so my wife had a set of pink cups that were just like mine, but she never used them. I used the hell out of mine. And over the time, I lost some of them, ended up, I think, with only one green cup. And then I was bringing the green cup here. I was drinking coffee in the morning. I think that thing got thrown out or something. Started using her pink cups that she never even used. So they started out as pool cups for cocktails, and they had like big flat, like Hawaiian flowers on them. And they slowly wore off. The flowers were gone. And so when I would do my lives, I'd have the pink cup, with me, or the green cup for a while, and then couldn't find them anymore and started using the pink cups. And it just became a thing. So everybody was like, what's with the pink cup? And so the pink cup theme stuck. I still have the original 4 cups that my wife had. They have no flower print on them anymore because, well, I've used them so much. And we've had customers send stuff. Like I've had shirts, pink cup. I have a really cool coaster that says pink cup here that I literally set my pink cup on every day at the shop. And I leave a pink cup here and I have some at home. And that is the origin of the pink cup. It started out as cocktail cups for me and my wife. And because by the pool, if you're drinking, you don't want to have glass. And so we would use these plastic cups and mix up drinks. And that was the origin. And it turned into a coffee cup, which turned into a water cup. And here we are. Now we finally have the pink cups. You guys asked for them. And Zach actually made them happen. So really pushed the vendor to find them. We paid a special molding fee. And we found some other pink cups, like there's that, well, you guys can't see it. There's a sample up there, and you barely even squeeze it, and the thing would like fold in half. I'm like, this thing's a piece of shit. I don't want that. So they found these really nice cups, and or made these really nice cups, I should say. And it's a thicker plastic, and so that's the pink cup. So if you think it's cool and you want a pink cup, we did them up with instead of flowers, guitars. Very appropriate. So that's it. And is that all the time we have today, or what do we got? We got any time left? I'm getting the no. So that was cool. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Sorry it wasn't the normal Wednesday. So what I'm actually going to do is, because there's probably so many of you that had no idea we were going to do this, I'm going to leave my deal of the hour and my top of the hour up until tomorrow, Wednesday, at 4 o'clock. So I'm going to give you guys an additional 24 hours since I kind of went out of rhythm here. I'll leave those up for you guys. So if you're watching this video and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you guys were going to do it early, these are still available right now. I don't know how long they're going to last, but pick one up. And we're going to Texas. We're going to go racing. We're going to have a good time. Maybe we'll post some stuff on my account, the Jeff Kiesel account, on Instagram. Maybe we'll post some in-car video. I don't know. But on that note, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you guys, all the love and support. We wouldn't be here